You already like the game code, but do you love us? Of course you do. Let's make it Facebook official. This week, we're giving away this mechanical gaming keyboard for all the Battlefield fans out there, as well as a game code shirt and bag so you can show just how much you really do love us. For details on how to enter, make sure to visit us on Facebook or Twitter. It's open to North America, ages 13 and up, but you've only got until November 22nd to get your name in the running. You guys might know him as the man behind Community Effort Orlando, but what you might not know about him is that he's actually from right here in the Maritimes. I am pleased to welcome here to the Game Code Studios, Mr. Alex Jebailey. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to welcome to the Game Code TV headquarters, Mr. Alex Jebailey. Sir,
how are
welcome.
You? Thank you.
Welcome. We have a slew of questions, some of which our writer did a terrible job of, others are amazing. So I'm going to just wing some of these as we go. Colin, I love you. I am going to start not with the first one here, because we're going to finish up with something spectacular after something that you told me earlier today before we started this. But yeah, welcome back to Canada. Why are you here, other than the fact that Canada's awesome? And what are you looking forward most to now that you're back here in Canuckville?
I am here to help host and run Frag for Cancer 8 here in Halifax.
Oh boy.
When I first heard about it, I met Yazid, the man behind all of this, at PAX East in Boston. And he came out and he checked out the dive kick game that I was there and helping out with and stuff, and just got to talking, and he's like, I appreciate your event CEO and everything. Would you be interested in coming to help out our event? We like to run fighting games. So right away I was like, I would love to. It gives me a chance to come back to my birth city, which most people don't know about.
That's right.
So I got into that and just talked, if you need help with any ideas or anything, I was there to help out. He seems to have everything under control though, so it's going to be a pretty good weekend for me, stress-free, and I can help whenever needed.
He's a sweet talker, that guy. He knows what he was doing. He knows what he was doing. You are, for apparently lack of a better adjective, a monster in the fighting game community.
Troll monster would probably be a better word.
Troll, yes. After seeing some of your antics, I would agree. I would agree with that. Absolutely. How did you first get involved in the fighting game community? Was that something that, like, you were a kid and you were hardcore into like King of Fighters or something like that? Right. What was your start with the whole fighting game?
I think growing up, just competitively, I played a lot of video games. I have two older brothers, and I grew up in the whole Nintendo scene. But in terms of the FGC itself, I was kind of a late bloomer in getting into it after the 90s had happened, when Super Turbo was really popular. But I actually went to the arcades all the time, played Street Fighter 2, and more importantly, I played Mortal Kombat as a young kid.
Oh, okay, that was the game that started.
Yeah, that was the game that started. Actually, Street Fighter 2 Turbo started on Super Nintendo before I got into the whole arcade scene. And back then, the FGC was very collective, very small, and mostly in California, Texas, or the East Coast, Upper East Coast, like New York City and stuff. So I didn't really get into it until about the year 2001, when I ran, after fighting games kind of died out for a little bit, and then they came back, and there was tournaments. I'd never heard of these tournaments. What happened was I went to a For Your Entertainment, which a lot of them closed down. It's like a Virgin Megastore in the States, and they had closed down, but I went to one and I picked up the game Capcom vs. SNK 2, because I had a gift card for my birthday, and I was like, let me go buy a game. And I saw them like, oh, Street Fighter characters. I haven't played Street Fighter since, 5 years ago in the arcade. And I bought the game and I went home and played it. I'm like, man, I'm horrible at this game. Later on, I found out the characters that I first picked were like the worst characters in the game. I picked them because I liked them.
No.
Like King, a King of Fighters character was in it.
Oh, seriously?
SNK, I picked her, and like, yeah, she's probably one of the worst characters in the game. So what happened was I went to a local arcade and they had a tournament for it, and I met a good friend, now today still a friend, who mentored me, and his name's Trent Van Devin, down in Orlando. He taught me Capcom vs. SNK 2 competitively. Okay. So I went to a few tournaments with him. He got me really good. I started placing like top 3. I'd always lose to him because he taught me everything.
He was the master.
So yeah, he was at the time in Orlando, and just played that. And then when I was in college, they ended up having a video game club, and an arcade had the same game, Capcom vs. SNK 2, when I went there. And I played it every day. I never skipped class, but sometimes it was hard to get me off the machine because I liked playing it. And Trent didn't go there, so I was always dominating the arcade. And one guy's like, we want to host a tournament. Would you like to help out? So I've been hosting tournaments myself, and for like over a decade now. So ever since then, it became a hook.
If there's one fighting game that I might actually be able to do at least one, maybe 2 things in, that would be dive kick. Perhaps because there's only 2 things that you can actually do in that game. You're pretty heavily involved in that you have your own character in the game. Can you talk a bit about that and how you managed to work your way in? Because not only are you in, but you're kind of like a title character there. Pretty much anybody that I've seen play loves to at least mess around with Jebailey, I believe is the name of the character.
I mean, it was supposed to be a total joke character, and it kind of took off. Getting in it itself, the game was brought to my event CO 2012 by Adam Hart. He runs an amazing tournament, which I've learned a lot from. He was a mentor to me when I was getting CO started. And he had the game there as not a beta, but he made it as his own thing. With a couple buddies, they made it, and then when they started playing, like, man, we might have a thing on our hands. So they had it there, and I went to that event, UFGT in Chicago, and I played it, and I was addicted to the game. And I wasn't even thinking of being in the game or anything like that. I was just playing the game because he only had 5 characters at the time. And I just became hooked on it. I'm like, do you want to bring it out to CEO? So he brought it out to the event, and then after that, I'm like, you should maybe put me in the game. He's like, tell me why. And I gave him the big head idea. And he's like, you're in the game, basically. Everything else after that was all his ideas, like the whole being created after Hagar's stance and the drop kick and all that. I had no idea that was coming. So when I saw, I was like, that's just pure genius. The guy has so many great ideas, and it's a great game. I mean, anybody can get into it.
Absolutely.
The online's amazing, so it's a game that you're just in and out, and I love games like that where you can just sit down, no fuss, get in, play games, go home, shut it off. And I've seen a lot of people play at my local events. They have a great time with it. Everybody should definitely check out that game. It's still going strong online.
No,
and I'm still the
100%.
#1 Jebailey online. So.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah, on PlayStation. I haven't even played in like a week or two, and I'm still ranked #1 by far.
That's excellent. That kind of leads into the question of do you main your own character, and does it feel a bit awkward playing yourself in a video game? Or is it just plain awesome? Because I don't know, if I was my own character in a video game, I feel like I would just be bragging about that at all times.
At first it really didn't hit me. Actually, at first it hit me. I was like, correct, I'm going to be in a video game. And my big mouth was telling my friends, like, I'm going to be in a game, guys. Like, whatever, man, whatever. And then it came out, and I actually got to really play it. And at first, I didn't want to use me. I was like, I want to win, thinking that my character couldn't win.
Of course.
So I'm gonna pick somebody else. But then I started, once the game actually came out officially and I got to play it, I was like, I really love my character. He only has really like 2 really bad matchups, but everything else is winnable. And it just became addicting. But the best is when people would tweet to me like, I just won with you, I just frauded somebody. That to me made me happy, seeing other people smile from an entertaining character, because that's what games are about. Is if it's not entertaining you, then you're not going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. Last question, just so that we can get at least some people to hate you. What's the best fight stick out there?
Oh man, it's all personal preference. My
Oh, you're not allowed to cop out with personal preference.
No, okay, no. I think the Mad Catz versus stick is probably the best one ever, just in terms of size and everything. But you have to dual mod it, you have to add a lot of stuff to it. That's my stick. That's what I prefer to play on tournament-wise, but there's just so many options. There's ways to get them for cheap through friends and stuff. Mad Catz always have a heart for. Quamba makes some really great sticks, though, for dual modding and LEDs. Because, to mod your sticks with LEDs especially, a lot of people like the light-up stuff.
Oh, of course.
They just came out with one, which was cheaper than buying a stick, modding it to LED and stuff. So all the companies are taking note, and now Mad Catz has a head start with the Xbox One stick coming out. So if you want to play Killer Instincts, you got to get that new stick from them. But I've always been a Mad Catz fan. Those sticks have never failed me. Yeah, there you have it. If you can get the Versus stick, that's the best one.
Everybody can now have something to pick on, because this man is a great guy. Thank you very much for coming out,
problem.
Mr. Alex Jebailey.
I appreciate it.
Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your time here.
Definitely. Check out Frag for Cancer.
Yeah, I'll
next
be
year,
there.
because you see this after.
That's right. Exactly. That's true. That's true. We really need to get a better time schedule for these things. I feel like we're a bit too far ahead. That's going to be it, guys. If you didn't see the whole thing, you can check out our social media for the rest of it. Again, thank you very much for showing up.
I was born in Halifax.
Oh, right here.
Right there. Right there.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for us here on the Game Code. It's been a busy week, but we will be back with more next week. Until then, have a good one, and we'll see you soon. Do you guys think that they're going to be...
Is it because I came in?
This is going to be...
That's our blooper reel there.
This is going to be what's happening in this paragraph. It's going to be the Gong Show for today. A special thanks goes out to the Last Game Store. Check them out for more great gaming swag.